So I'm going to put links to these down in the description of this video, but I have had to start from scratch before in my life multiple times. And by scratch, I mean either one time there was only $9 left in my bank account, or another time I had $0.00. A couple decades ago, I could go around to neighbors' houses and offer to mow their lawns. Well, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that today. Especially depending on the area you're in, that could be a really not great decision. You never know, like, who's gonna knock on the wrong door and get shot in this day and age. I'm gonna stick with things that I've done before that were online. And I am not sponsored by any of these, but I thought if it's helped me before, maybe it can help someone else. It can help you. I tried publishing some books. They didn't do that great. But I had always wanted to publish some books, so I felt really good about myself that at least I did that. I did not get very much from that at all. Some people suggest writing books, and I did technically do that, but I wouldn't say expect a lot to happen from that. The links, if any of them, I can do a referral thing. I'll try to. I always say spread referrals around, because usually you get like $10 and the person who uses the referral gets $10. So any of them that I can, I'll do that. But that's the closest thing to me getting some sort of commission off of this that there is. In reality, this is just me saying, I've used this before. Here's a link to the thing that I've literally used. Hopefully it helps you. One of them is Inbox Dollars. I signed up for Inbox Dollars more than 10 years ago, I feel like. When I signed up for Inbox Dollars, they sent checks in the mail. And when I signed up for Inbox Dollars, they had a $30 cash out. I still have Inbox Dollars on my phone. Originally, there was no mobile app for it when I signed up. But let me tell you, the mobile app is way better than just the website. Inbox Dollars is a site that's kind of like Free Cash or Survey Junkie, and it basically is, here, do some little ittle piddle things, and you get paid cents for it. Very, very much I want to make clear, this is something that you can do on your phone or do on your computer to earn very small amounts of money. But when you have $9 left in your bank account, earning $1 still is something. So I was very like, I got to do something of any kind. Once the mobile app came out, I have been able to consistently get money every single month, and the cash out is now $10. Now, I don't do that much on Inbox Dollars anymore. I basically check my paid emails, maybe play a couple of little games. You can do surveys on there, but there are better paying surveys in other places. But technically, if you do the surveys each day and reach a certain earning threshold or whatever, they actually pay you little extra amounts as well. And I did do that for a while to help me pay bills and stuff. You don't earn enough from it to pay rent by any means at all, but you can earn enough from it to pay like your car insurance. Say you have insurance that's like $120 a month, Inbox Dollars probably not going to get you that. I have gotten that much in a month from Inbox Dollars before, but I had to basically play a little mobile game like constantly to get to the final reward where the $100 was. And then another game where I got to like the $30 in the same month. I basically was on my phone a lot. Yeah, you can get that much in a month. I'm just saying typically you're probably going to not get that much in a month. But it is pretty typical for me to get like, you know, anywhere from 15 to 50 bucks in a month, like consistently. But I use the phone version, the mobile version, to do that. On the computer, you don't get as much ability to use like the little mobile games downloads. And so the little mobile game downloads really helps with that. But on Inbox Dollars, you can watch little videos for 2 cents. You can play games. They have bingo, stuff like that. Another thing that they do is they have coupons and stuff. And if you use the coupon, you get paid like 2 cents, but also you get the discount of the coupon. Or say you buy something and you were going to buy it anyway, and you go through the Inbox Dollars, well, they give you a little bit off of that. So yeah, there's a whole ton of different types of things that you can do, but Inbox Dollars. Another one that I have done is called Honeygain, and it is basically this program that sits in the background when you're doing stuff, and it uses any extra internet that you're not using. It does not like try to sell you crap, and it does not put like a bunch of infomercials or anything like that. It just literally runs in the background. At first, I could not even earn the $20 threshold to get a payout in like 5 months. Like, it was so slow. But if you put it also on your phone, it can be helpful. On your phone, be aware if you have an unlimited plan, nothing to worry about. But if you don't have an unlimited plan, don't put it on your phone unless you're on Wi-Fi the majority of the time. But basically all it does is it just uses your internet to like process stuff for companies. It's just using little smidgens of your internet. It doesn't use like the whole thing. Like, I actively play a video game that has good graphics and stuff, and I can still play it even though Honeygain is in the background. So it's not like it's distracting enough or whatever for your computer that you're gonna like lag out and lose all your FPS or something if you're a gamer. Also, on their little website, if you just go once a day and hit to claim from the little bucket thing, then you can get a little tiny margin from that. It isn't much almost any of the time, but it's better than nothing. Honeygain, now I can claim it like more often than that, but it's still a $20 threshold that you have to reach before you can claim any money. The nice thing about Honeygain is once you download it, technically you don't have to go to the site every day and click the little bucket. Technically, you could just leave it sitting there and not pay attention to it, and then like just go about your time. It's passive income, which is why it's so small of an income, but it is passive. It doesn't require any effort. Another thing that I have done is go to user interviews and doing research with focus groups. Focus groups can sometimes be really good pay. Focus groups often pay in gift cards. So sometimes you have to go to a gift card sales site and sell the gift card to get some money out of it, or else use the gift card to pay a bill that you would have already paid. So for instance, my most recent focus group that I did, I still do some focus groups like to this day. I put the money toward Chewy because we have some pets living here. There was a Chewy subscription already in place. The pets were already going to have pet food and litter coming in, and it just is like, hey, here's this bill that I can get rid of. And by getting rid of the bill for my roommate, who owns the 3 cats, they took it off my rent. So the gift card translated into money, even though it never once turned into actual cash. Sometimes you do actually get paid like a Visa gift card or, you know, money. User interviews is where I go for my focus groups. Now, there are other places you can go to for focus groups, so if you have trouble on user interviews getting into stuff, be aware there are other sites for it. This is just the one that I use, the one that I have experience with, the one that I've actually gotten paid from before, and I know it works. So all of these are things that I've personally used. Getting $150 from a focus group, even if it's a gift card that you put toward your roommate's pets, if it reduces your rent down, it's still helpful. Another one that I actively still have to this day is Amazon Mechanical Turk. Let me be really clear. When you sign up for Amazon Mechanical Turk, do it on your Google search engine. Secondly, put it in incognito, because when you sign up for Amazon Mechanical Turk, you also have to sign up for their payment system, and their payment system is super picky. When you put in your address, it wants your IP address to be exactly at that exact address, and that exact address to be completely verifiable. If you do it in incognito mode, it'll go through a lot easier. I've seen a lot of people who tried to sign up to work for Amazon Mechanical Turk, and they couldn't even get signed up. And I'm letting you know ahead of time, when you sign up in incognito mode on Google. It also can help to put a Google extension for helping with Amazon Mechanical Turk, but be very, very aware only certain ones are approved, and any botting of any kind, you'll get insta-banned. The first month that I worked on Amazon Mechanical Turk, I earned like 7 something. Like, it was nothing. The next month though, I earned like $20. And then the next month after that, I earned like $45. And then the next month after that, it was like 70. It starts out that you are eligible for almost nothing. You do a human intelligence task. It's called a HIT. It's just a task. And the tasks that you're eligible to do at first, they pay like 2 cents. Like it's pretty horrible. But as you keep going, once you get to 100 completed tasks, more things open up. Then you get to 500 completed tasks, more things open up. 1,000 completed tasks, more things open up. And as more things open up, your eligibility to earn more goes up. You might at first only be eligible for the crappiest of tasks, but by the time you're to 1,000 tasks, you should be eligible for some tasks that are worth like $8. And the majority of them will not be worth that much. Allow me to be super clear. The majority of the time, you're gonna be making like more around like 50 cents, 25 cents per task. But those tasks only take like 2 to 10 minutes. So you can get to where you can do it pretty quickly. But they do have like human checks or whatever where they want you to actually read questions and not be a bot. You can make, without having to like work a full-time job or anything like that. Say you only work like 3 hours in a day. You can easily make $10 in a day if you're over 1,000 tasks. So that's the same as getting paid like to go to jury duty. Except instead you can lounge around in your pajamas and do little tasks. If you are working like 3 hours a day and you're over 1,000 tasks, honestly, if you're doing pretty good at it, or even say up it to 4 hours, you could definitely get like $15. It's not the best money in the world at all. But when you have $0 and 0 cents, at least it's some sort of money. At least it's something. There are people who make, you know, over $500 a month with Amazon Mechanical Turk. I am not one of them. The most I made from Amazon Mechanical Turk in a month was like $300 and something. If you really are desperate, $300 and something in a month is still huge. Even $100 in a month would be huge. So Amazon Mechanical Turk, it's something online you can do without interviewing with another human being. Like with focus groups, I feel like a lot of people's intimidation is, I have to talk to another person. Oh gosh. You know, with Amazon Mechanical Turk, you don't have to talk to anybody. If you do well with Amazon Mechanical Turk, you can start to be noticed. I have actually had that happen. A certain company that was putting out some of the surveys noticed that I was giving quality answers. And so now they have me do several things a week that are specifically for them, and they pay a lot better, but there's not that many of them. Because I was doing Amazon Mechanical Turk to a more proficient level, or however you want to say that, it got me into something else. You also get into, if you do it for a while and you fill out the things afterward, you can get into cloud research, which is kind of the same thing, but less money. It's more like $8 to $20 in a month. But it's sort of the same thing where they give you surveys that pay a little better, but there's not that many of them. Another thing is having an investment account. And I personally use Fidelity Investments for mine. You can use whatever is more comfortable for you, but when you do it, get the promotion. Almost all of them, Vanguard does not, but Vanguard can afford not to. Vanguard doesn't need to. But almost all of them have some sort of promotion for starting your account. So when you go to start your investment account, for instance, with Fidelity, this is the one I know because this is the one I used when I signed up for Fidelity, and I really am not sponsored, I swear, by any of these, but it is essentially, if you deposit $50, they give you $100. And if you wait 6 months, you can just take the $100 out if you need to, but in reality, it's better to invest it and have that gaining you investment income throughout all your years until you retire. And you can do this effectively by starting a Roth IRA. I highly, highly suggest to anyone, anywhere, if you don't have a Roth IRA, to have one. That is money that will not be taxed later on in your old age when you take it out. And any investments that grow in there also will not be taxed later on in your old age when you take it out. When you're 60 years old, you can start taking it out tax-free. You can cap at $6,500 a year into your Roth IRA. So if you actually can afford to do that and you're not poor, congratulations, go do it. Get your Roth IRA, and don't just put money into the Roth IRA. Pick investments and have those investments auto reinvest in themselves. I made a video on how to do that somewhere on my channel. I'm sure there's other videos on how to do that too. The Roth IRA is like the bag, and you're going to put stuff into the bag that are your investments, things like a stock or an ETF or an index fund or a mutual fund. Those are all little things you're putting in the bag. You want to make sure that you're reinvesting automatically, that you don't have to go put that back in the bag again. It's auto putting itself back in the bag. And everything in the bag, when you're old and you go to take it out, no tax. If you take it out early, you can get slammed with some fees. But if you don't take it out until you're old, no tax. I'm getting future me will appreciate it money in my investment account. That's someday when I'm older and I'm decrepit and I have liver spots everywhere and wrinkles all over, that I'm going to be very grateful to myself that I at least did something. And it's not like you have to leave only $150 in there. When you earn something extra, maybe you got really good tips waitressing, or maybe you got a bonus commission because you sold something and it's over your normal income and you don't have debt that you need to pay off, go invest just a little more of that in there, and you can very gradually grow that, and it will have compound interest on it that raises it. It's not money I have access to right this second, but when I do have access to it, I'm going to be very grateful that I did that for myself. Another thing I've done online to help myself is learning new skills and learning new abilities and stuff saves me a lot of money. If I have something that breaks, like say my computer, the inside of your computer actually needs to be cleaned. Go watch a YouTube video on how to do that. Maybe you won't feel confident afterward. You'll be a little insecure. Go watch another one. Get up just enough confidence to unscrew the panel on your computer. And then inside you see all that dust. You can at least go get the $2 thing of canned air, spray around in there, sweep some of that dust out or vacuum some of that dust out, and then put the thing back on. Maybe you didn't actually go and clean the fans and do everything, but anything is better than nothing. And it saves you the money of having to buy a computer as soon, because your computer's not going to crap as soon. You might not know everything about the functionality of your car, and it is intimidating, but learn how to change the tire. Watch some YouTube videos, go read some information, go whatever is your learning style. Listen to a podcast about changing tires. Whatever you need to do, learn that skill so that you don't have to spend the extra money to call someone when your tire needs changed. Learning things can save you so much money. And when you have $0 and 0 cents and you cannot afford someone to come and do something, and you don't have a friend who knows how to do something, you got to figure out how to do it yourself. I have had to flat out take apart the entire steering column of a car because I could not afford the mechanic. My blinker would not work, and I had to do it. And I watched some videos, I learned about it, and I managed to take the thing apart, and while I was doing so, had my phone right there, re-watching sections of video over and over again to make sure I was doing it as right as possible, because I really could not afford to F up this and mess up my car worse. Put it back together, and lo and behold, I did not break everything, because I learned and I saved myself from having to pay so much money to the mechanic. So you're earning maybe $30 in a month from Inbox Dollars and $50 from Amazon Mechanical Turk. So you got $80 in a month. Well, $80 in a month is still not going to be enough to cover all your stuff. So learning how to do things online and implementing that into your real life is super helpful. I don't need to put a link to YouTube because you're watching YouTube. So it's not going to be a link to that on the list. Even besides that, learning is good for us and really good for your brain. It's just really important anyway. Another thing that I did that's semi-online is I changed phone service. I didn't have any problems with the carrier that I was using. Like, their service was good. I hadn't had any complaints, no scamming from them. I didn't feel like they were hard to work with or that customer service was bad, but I just flat out could not afford it. My cell phone plan was just too much. So I went ahead and got Mint Mobile, and it's $15 a month, but you do have to prepay. So you pay in a clump. And I got in on a deal when they were doing a promotion where you could get basically another 3 months. So if you bought 3 months at $15 a month, then they actually gave you 6. I don't know if that promotion is still going on. I know they always have some sort of promotion. I know I've seen before that they had a promotion where if you sign up, it's like $30. $15 a month is 5 gigs of internet, I believe. They do have an unlimited plan and stuff like that, but the biggest thing is I could not afford to have such an expensive phone plan as what I had before, and so I got that. And I have found it to be fine. Like, it's not like it's the most incredible service I ever encountered or anything like that, but they use T-Mobile towers and it's fine. Like, I haven't had like problems or anything. I'm enjoying having a way smaller phone bill. And again, I'm not sponsored. I don't get a commission for saying that. This is just my own personal experience. I have found PayPal to be very helpful because sometimes things won't pay you directly to your bank account, but they will pay you in PayPal money. And then from PayPal, you can move the money into your bank account. So I would highly recommend getting PayPal if you're going to do any kind of online stuff for working and everything. And be realistic with yourself. Be realistic with yourself that you could go on Inbox Dollars, see a thing where they're like, hey, I'll reimburse you some money if you sign up for DoorDash. You do DoorDash a little bit, and yeah, it's sucky, but it pays better per hour. Maybe you wouldn't have really done it if Inbox Dollars didn't offer you that offer. There's ways to do quote-unquote gig work that can pay better, for sure. But you also have to have certain certifications for that. You might have to pay for a background check that you just can't afford right now. Not because you don't have a good background, but because it's like $26, and $26 is the difference between you having electricity or not. If you can, even for a couple of months, do some of this stuff and get that little bit of side money built up into something where you could invest in yourself to do something that pays better per hour, but by all means do that. But there's a lot of people right now who are laid off or who are struggling to find work, or maybe have work but are looking for something extra to do, or, you know, are trying to afford childcare or whatever it is. And these are things that can bring in some sort of marginal money. But I don't want to like lie to you or inflate how awesome they are and that, yeah, you can totally quit your job and do this instead. That's not what these are. And when I have been at $0.00 before, this helped me. Sometimes you only need that for like 2 months, and then you can manage to get latched onto a better, decent paying job, and you can recover. And if you could just somehow get your savings to stretch that 2 months, you could make it. And this is just something that has helped me, is doing these little things like this when I've come to moments that were like that, where I was just trying so hard to get through to a point where I didn't have to be that way anymore. The point is, let's help each other. Let's get through hard times. Once you get built up to where you have $500, even if that $500 comes from little ittle-piddle stuff like this and it takes you a few months, once you have that $500, there are, or at least there were, some banks that'll let you open an account for the first time with an amount like that, and they'll pay you for having opened an account with them and leaving the money in there for a certain amount of time. There's some investment things that'll let you, oh, you invest $100 into us, we'll give you this many free stocks. You wait a few months and then pull all the money from those stocks out. And it doesn't matter if the stock's price went up or down, you're just getting some money that you didn't already have. Once you have $500 to $1,000, you can start to sign up for things that are like that. You can, you know, say, oh, I need to buy a major purchase. My fridge is dead. Cannot use it anymore. It's destroyed. And I can't find any actually working fridges for free on Craigslist. I'm gonna have to buy a fridge. There's no way around it. I can go to a discount place to get a cheaper fridge, but I'm still gonna have to spend more than, you know, $200, $300. Check and see if you can get a credit card And the credit card has a welcome spending thing that if you spend, say, 200, 300 bucks within the first month or two of getting the credit card, they'll give you 200 or 300 bucks. So I don't have links for stuff like that, but I'm just saying the doors start to open once you get past a certain threshold. If your bills are all already covered, say right now, working a full-time job, and you just need an extra $100 a month, and then your bills are covered. That's all you are in the red. Then you start doing this stuff as a side thing when you get home from work, and you start getting $200 a month. Well, save that $100 a month until you get to like 500, or you get to 1,000. And then do some of these little things that are like that, where you sign up for the bank account, or you sign up for the investment account, or whatever it is, get the bonus 6 months later, 3 months later, pull that money out. It's money you didn't have, and you might not have it instantaneously, but it's still money you didn't have. It's okay to admit that you need to save, and it's okay to wait a little bit and get a delayed gratification as long as you're making some sort of incremental progress. So don't be so hard on yourself. If you are struggling, if you are really financially struggling, right now you are living in a car, you don't have a job, and you are like, this is literally everything I own is in this car. You have a phone that you're watching this on. On the phone, you can go get the Inbox Dollars app. Right now, you are living off of a savings and off of credit cards. The savings is almost gone, and the credit card debt is getting bigger. $30 in a month from Inbox Dollars is not gonna pay all your bills, but it could pay enough that you're slightly less in the red, even though you're in a dire situation. So don't think that things are too small to be worthwhile. The one last thing I will say with all of this is, if you are someone who earns more than $400 with any of these methods in a year, more than $400, you will have taxes to pay next year on it. It's like a 1099 or whatever. So just be aware of that will be part of your taxes the next year if you earn more than $400 in a year on it. So you have to pay a little tax on it. It's better than nothing.